5 years went by between your most recent album and the one before. And I find that just so inspiring. I mean, seriously, it gives me hope. Because I don't want to live in a world where you have to show up constantly.
Yeah.
I don't believe that you can always show up with truly great work that way, you know? So could you tell me about that whole process? Like, wasn't it terrifying to be like, I'm going to stop posting on social media for a while? You took like a year, right? Without really
like
posting.
year and a half or something.
I'm going to take a while just to do my own thing and kind of not disappear, but, you know, take time for yourself. Was that terrifying, or was it just it led by feeling again?
Yeah, it was led by feeling, and also
You're so good at that.
it was led by feeling, and also I wanted to kind of rebel. Like I feel like everything tells you right now, like, you have to do this, you know, or it does. Nobody's telling you that, but everybody's doing something related to that. So you feel like, okay, I shouldn't be doing the other thing.
It's a highly reinforced message.
Yes, exactly. And I felt like I didn't want it to be part of that. And I also felt like I'm fighting for my life right now, you know, like, this is my life. This is my work. And nobody will fight for it if I don't. Like, I'm the most interested one that wants it to go well. And I don't care if I don't have a career anymore, but I want to have my life back. That's what's most important to me. And so to me, it was scary for sure. Also because of the comments of my team I had at that time. But
which was they were like, what are you doing? This is crazy.
Yeah. The team in Mexico that I had, because I have a team in the US that has always been the same.
Okay.
But they weren't the main ones because I was in Mexico. The ones in Mexico were like, why are you doing this? How long is it gonna take? And I was just like, this is my spirit we're talking about. Like, I have no songs, honestly. Yeah. And so I don't know. I've always been, I don't know if it's also because I'm very, from a very small town where like we know what makes us happy. Like, the basic stuff makes us happy. Like I remember this clearly in my mind, but I remember my happiest moments were just laying on my bed, watching the window with all the like birds and the trees.
Wow.
And just listening to that. And like feeling like the air breeze through my, face, and like hearing nothing, and just thinking, I'm so happy. And like, those were minutes, but I remember that. And I remember thinking, I don't feel that anymore. And I also felt like that voice in my spirit that would say, hey, we're going the right way, wasn't there anymore. I couldn't hear it anymore. I couldn't hear what was right or wrong inside of me. So that was more terrifying than just thinking I'll disappear. Because I thought, it might affect because of the algorithms and the comments, but I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm tired. I'm really tired, and I don't like anyone. I don't even like myself. So I'm out. Peace. Like, peace out. And I just left, and I closed everything out, and it felt, at first, I feel like the first couple of weeks that we were here, I remember thinking, I was crying a lot. I remember walking through the Villette, like La Villette.
La Villette in the 19th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just walking and crying and thinking, man, I was so sad. Like, a lot of truths would come to me and be like, man, I was so sad. I wish I could hug Carla from the past and be like, hey, you're going to be okay. And a lot of things came to me, and I felt free. It was daunting at first, but just because of what the people were telling me. But I knew that, and I know that virtual life isn't life. It's just virtual, and that's it. What really brings meaning to your life is the relationships that you make with people. The relationship that you make with yourself is way more important than any relationship in your life. And to me, I was like, man, I don't even know myself. I don't know if I would hang out with myself, if I would meet myself. And that's not right. So it just became all about me, and it felt good. It felt good. It felt like I was meeting with, like, when you see like an old cousin that you haven't seen in a long time, you're like, oh my God. And you're just so happy. You want to do everything together. At some point after a while, it felt like that. Like, I love spending time with myself. That's awesome. I love just reading and nobody telling me anything. Nobody sending me an email about, hey, you have to do this. No, nothing. Nobody can mess with me. It just felt good. And then also add to that, like learning a language and on my, 30s, thinking that would never happen. Also going to school again and just learning so many new things. Like I was like, man, I'm so smart and I can do so many things. This is so cool. I had no idea I had so many other talents. I thought I was a one trick pony. And that it gives you like a sense of relief and power, and you just feel at peace with yourself. So you sleep better at night, and so when I came back to social media, I just felt better. I didn't feel controlled by it. And I think that's what we all feel, kind of controlled by social media right now. Like, okay, I have to do this. You don't have to do anything. Like the real meaning in life is life. It's not virtual life. It's life. And you going through it and listening to your body and your spirit and your ideas. And so it took a long time for me to really not feel, well, I mean, I haven't felt guilty about it or anything, but it was more of a sense of a feeling. And when I started, kind of getting close to music and thinking about doing music again, I did it also very slow. I didn't go all the way. I started to like make a song here and there and write things, and I wasn't like pushing myself. I was like baby steps, because you hurt me. And then little by little I understood that I did it myself.
Right.
We all do it to ourselves.
Oh God, there's so much that you just said that was so beautifully articulated. I think it is almost at this point in the world that we live in a rite of passage to go through some of this stuff, right? Because you just have to learn for yourself that good feeling that you described, right? Like, oh wow, I'm back to doing things more on my terms again. There is no price for that feeling. It's like you draw a line in the sand somewhere. Can you tell me about, like, why is it important to go slow? Why was re-entering that world slowly again important?
I think it was important to me because I feel like we usually are all when we're younger, we're very intense, but we tend to think that things don't impact us. Like, oh, it's easy because it's fast and blah, blah, blah. And then you just realize that you just, with life and with food, with anything, you just have to take it slow. I feel like it's a good way of just allowing life to be and chapters in your life to be, because you have to kind of take it all in, and you're in no rush. There's no rush for anything. People tell you, or the life constantly right now is telling you to go fast, but there's no one's gonna die. Nothing's gonna happen. Life will find a way. I always remember about this analogy where I've never read the Bible, but I remember somebody telling me that Jesus had said something like that if like doves and how do you say, like just animals get fed all day and they don't work, they don't do anything, and life finds a way. Why wouldn't you? And there's always people around you. So I always think that we don't have to be in a rush. So for me, first, I took my time because I was very upset at music. I really thought it was music that had made this to me, because I remember telling my mom, oh, like, I hate it when people, chase me, and I was so upset. And she was like, okay, then sing bad. Sing bad, mija. Right. Do a really bad album. And I was like, Ma, that's not an answer. She's like, yes, you do it good, mija. You do it right. So what do you want me to tell you? Do a bad album. And I remember it cracked me up because I didn't want to hear that. But she just was so like, shut up, like just deal with it.
She was pointing out the holes in what you were saying, right?
Yes. And I'm like, no. But then I realized, like, okay, like this is something I have to deal with. So when I took my time, I realized little by little that it was it was really me, but taking it slow was gentle to myself, like was being nice to myself. And I feel like that's something that we forget. We are so worried about productivity. We're so worried about being validated that we don't validate ourselves. And we don't take the time to really say, what do I want? What do I want? What does this mean to me? And like really take time to think about it. What do I want? Why do I want to write a book, Carla? Why do we want to write a book? Do we want to be more accepted? Do we want to accept ourselves more, or do we want people to accept us?
Wait, are you saying that to me because I've mentioned writing a book?
No, because I want to write a book.
Yeah.
And I'm very focused
I'm feeling
on...
seen right now.
No, I'm saying it because I've been wanting to write a book for the longest time, and I procrastinate a lot on it because I'm like, oh, I don't have time, but really I don't want to face myself. And then I realize I'm like, why instead of writing a song, why do you want to write a book, Carla? Like, you're good at making songs, you make money, you do this, you do, like, it's easy. Why do you want to write a book? This is a whole different thing. You're going to be criticized and, like, why do you want to get into this hole?
Right, she can't write or whatever, right?
Yes.
Or like, I don't know what phrase you might have in your head that haunts you, right?
Yes.
Like whatever the button is that people could press.
Yes, and that I think about these things, but I feel like just taking time with it, just so it marinates in your mind and in your soul, because everything that you put out in the world has meaning. We can't just like put things in the world just because we can. Like not every singer that's a good singer is Adele, like everybody has their own journey. So I feel like taking things slowly it's almost like cooking, like the best food is done slowly, and it's like, oh my God, it's so good, and they did it in a whole day or in a whole, it's a whole process. I feel like taking time is just so valuable, but we're told that it's not, that we have to go fast because life is going fast, and the numbers, who cares about numbers? Like, who cares? When you want to make connections with people, that's what's valid. Like, honestly, when I did my last album, I knew that maybe it wasn't going to be the album of the year, but I was like, if this speaks to someone, just one person, man, that's okay. That's fine. I just want it to speak to someone that feels lonely and shitty, because that's how I felt for years. And there's nothing else more beautiful than to feel like seen. When you feel seen, that, by the way, I saw the other day, the Avatar movie, and there's this thing that they say, I see you. And I thought, oh my God, that's beautiful, because in this world, nobody feels seen. That's why we're all so focused on being bloggers and like, all these girls that put, they're bloggers on Instagram, and they put all these Prada and blah, 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 they want to feel seen. We don't feel seen, and it's super sad. It's very sad. So I feel like it's just something that taking it slow and really validating ourselves is like the best gift we can give ourselves. But we're so focused on giving and please validate me, please, please, please. No, validate yourself. And then you can go out in the world, and validating oneself takes time. Good things take time.